everyone, and welcome to the channel. I am just continuing on with the page here in Magical Forest Jade Summer. We started this page in the last color and chat, and I just wanted to continue working on it. I am going to upload part 1 to this chat here in just a little while, so it'll be live shortly. It's actually rendering while we are working here, and I was going to wait about filming this until the video had been up for a couple days. But I just kind of wanted to film this morning and spend some time with you guys, so I thought I would pull this out. It's still fairly early here on Friday morning. I'm still working on my first cup of coffee. So, yeah. So Gary went to his appointment yesterday and met with a surgeon, and he is going to have surgery on the 28th of this month, so not too many days away. It was an interesting appointment for sure. I really wish I would have been there. It seems that things may be a little more complicated than we had thought they were going to be. He, was diagnosed with renal arterial stenosis, meaning that the arteries to his kidneys are narrowed. And yeah, so he gets to the surgeon yesterday, and the surgeon tells him that I guess the arteries should be at approximately a size, I believe it was 8, and they like minimum to be a 6, and the one is a 5. And then they said that on his other kidney, apparently, he has a congenital birth defect that he had absolutely no knowledge of. On that kidney, he, instead of having the one artery that leads to the kidney, he actually has 3 tiny arteries. And so he's not getting enough blood flow through those. They're very tiny, much smaller than the artery is supposed to be. And so that's going to have to be dealt with also. They're going to have to put stents into all 4 of those arteries. Fun stuff. The doctor told his scheduler to make sure it was scheduled early in the morning, and that he did not have much to do that day, because it is going to be a very long surgery. And so on the 28th, we'll have to get there really early in the morning, and we'll probably be there all day. But he says that it is still considered outpatient, So as long as everything goes exactly as planned and there's no complications of any kind, once he's out of recovery, they'll be sending him home to finish his recovery. And he said that it should be about a week before he could go back to work. However, he did not schedule the post-op exam until right at 2 weeks post-surgery. So, you know, Gary's job's not going to let him go back to work until he's been, you know, released from the doctor after that post-op. So we'll see how that goes. And if there's anything that we may need, you know, to talk to the doctor about as far as that's concerned. But there's a few concerns that we have. One, Gary's never had any kind of surgery before. So anytime you're put underneath anesthesia, everybody, you know, of course, reacts differently. So we really don't know what to expect there. But hopefully that'll be fine. But Gary is diabetic, and he just recently had a bout where the doctor had given him a steroid shot, and it drove his blood sugar through the roof. And so that's going to add a little bit of a level of difficulty, because Gary is also allergic to contrast dyes that are used in procedures, and they definitely will need the dye for this surgery. You know, we definitely want the doctor to see what he's doing when he's going into arteries like that. And there is medications that can be taken leading up to a surgery, I guess, that greatly reduces any risk of a reaction to those dyes. However, they contain steroids. And we know what steroids do to the blood sugar. We just recently found that out. So Gary let the doctor know that. Gary has to take, he doesn't take insulin shots, but he does take medication for his diabetes. And the medication that he takes, apparently you cannot take that medication for 24 hours, or it may have been 36 or something like that, before a this surgery, and you cannot take it for like 24 hours after the surgery. So we're a little worried because we saw how high his blood sugar will shoot up, and he can't take his blood sugar medication, and they're going to give him the steroids also. So it's a little bit concerning there. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The doctors are aware. So, I mean, you can only do what you can do. And then you just kind of have to pray and, you know, hope that everything goes well. And so that's where we are with that. So we shall see. I am a little nervous about it, and it seems like I know Gary's probably nervous. I mean, it's his first surgery, and he knows that I'm nervous. So I think he's trying to be real brave about it. But I would be nervous if I knew that I had these medical issues and they were about to go in, and we know it's going to aggravate my medical issues. I mean, I would definitely be. So, you know, if you will, keep him in your thoughts and prayers. as we get ready for that on the 28th. And hopefully everything will go well and there won't be any problems. That would be so wonderful. So I don't know what my filming situation will be during that little bit of time after the 28th until he goes back to work. I don't know how much help he's going to need, from me. And, of course, I have to definitely be there to provide whatever he needs. And I will still try to film. He, in the times where he can be in, like, the other room or something like that, maybe settled in watching TV there, I can get some filming done. So hopefully that won't affect any of that. At least not too bad. But I know you guys will understand. You've been very, very supportive of me, and I truly appreciate that. He's actually gone this morning to meet the guy who owns the property. It was a little late yesterday, so he's gone now to talk to him about trying to get a lease on the property that he was interested in for a next hunting season. So we'll see how that works out. Hopefully he'll get some really good news there. It'll be a little lift of spirits for him after the whammy yesterday. He always had issues with his blood pressure, and he always had a lot of anger issues, and people with high blood pressure tend to have bad tempers. And he was diagnosed in his early 20s and has been on medication ever since. So this probably has something to do with why he's had such bad blood pressure issues, his whole life, and it's just now getting discovered. So it'll be interesting, I think, to see what will happen with his blood pressure after the surgery. If this has been a contributing factor. I don't think his blood pressure is going to just be normal all of a sudden, but I mean, who knows? We'll see. I guess it could be. That's not outside the realm of possibility, but yeah, some good news on that little piece of hunting property would be awesome. Okay. Now, what I decided to do here with this cute little barrel, I'll go back up and work on the leaves a little bit. I just kind of wanted to let you guys know what was going on. And I thought the best way to do that was start filling in those leaves. And I know there's still some more up here, and we've got some flowers to work with. So I've got my Pentel Sparkle Pop Gold, and I've got my Dual Hybrid Golds, Pentel Hybrid Dual Metallic Gold. I absolutely love these gel pens. They're some of the best gel pens I think I've ever used in my entire life. I am so thankful that these were sent to me, and I got the opportunity, to touch them and feel them and play with them. But I didn't know if you guys knew this, so I wanted to tell you. When I received the Sparkle Pops, and I got to looking at them, they're the exact same as the Dual Hybrid Metallic. The ink is the same. The point sizes are the same. There is, I took them apart and looked at the inside. Those are the same. So there's really no difference between the Hybrid Dual Metallics by Pentel and the Sparkle Pop by Pentel. And my Michaels sells the Sparkle Pops open stock. So you can get these one at a time through at Michaels. They did not have the Dual Metallics, but jetpens.com did. So if you like one of these styles a lot, that'll give you an idea. If you like the Dual Hybrid Metallics, you should be able to get the Pentel Sparkle Pops at Michaels open stock. And it is. I swatched these out side by side. They are the exact same. So that was very interesting to me. I enjoyed finding that out. I was honestly tickled pink because you know you have to spend like $25 at JetPens to get free shipping. And when I ordered the extra Tombos that I needed, I went ahead and ordered a couple extra of the gold. Oh, excuse me, I almost sneezed. Because I really liked it and I needed a couple dollars to get me over to free shipping. So I did that. But then when I got the Sparkle Pops and tested them and realized, that they're the same, I remembered that they had these at Michael's. So when I need, if I just need a gold or a silver or just one pen and I really want to replace it and I don't need anything from like JetPens, then I'll just go to Michael's and try to get the Sparkle Pops open stock that way. But I absolutely love this gold. It's so pretty and glittery, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Finish this up right here and I'll show you how glittery these really are. They are super glittery. I love them. And I know they're metallic, but they do have glitter in them also, so you still get that glitter marker effect, and I love it. Okay. Let's see. You guys see that? It is just so crazy how sparkly and glittery. And I know it looks very similar to the Super Doodles that are beside it, but when you're looking at it, just in front of it, you can see those little specks, that glittery, metallic-y, and it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so what do I want to do? We've got the pot and we've got the little flower here. Try not to put my hand right on top of that. Okay. I'm not sure. I mean, we've got orange and the pink and the other flowers. I mean, I could go back in, I guess, and do that one and just have all of our flowers kind of that color, but I was planning on doing the flowers up at the top, maybe like that. So I'd kind of like to do something different with this one. Wow. Any ideas, guys? I wish you could talk to me right now. Because whatever I put there is gonna like pop crazy, that's for sure, if it's a different color, because it's gonna be pretty much the only thing really that color, unless I work the color in over here in the pot also, and maybe into the flowers up at this flowers instead of this flowers. I could do these flowers like this, these flowers, mix in the colors and put them here, here, and here maybe. I'm still thinking about doing the blue background, so I don't really want to do a blue flower. I think purple would probably blend too much into that blue background also if I do the blue background. I don't like not being able to figure out what to do. Maybe I'll just continue on with some gold here and think. I guess I could go ahead and do all the flowers the same, maybe. You know, the same colors. It'll definitely pop against the background, that's for sure. With those colors. Or I could just do it, maybe I could do like a yellow brown. Like brown more here at the base and bring it up into a yellow. So then it would have more of like a gold type hue maybe. I mean, what do you guys think? That might work. Yeah, I think that might work. So over on the Facebook group, last night we were discussing some more markers. Apparently there is a brand, and I don't know how this slipped by me, I really don't, but it's called Huhuhero, not Ohuhu, Huhuhero. And guys, these look identical to the Cali Arts, and a couple people who have them, one person actually laid them out and showed them beside their Cali Arts that they have, and they agree that they're the same colors and the same marker as the Cali Arts. And so now I'm like, oh my goodness, I need these markers in my life. I need to test them. I need to touch them. I need to feel them. I need to compare them. And I'm like, wow, thanks a lot. So, yeah. But, if you guys are in the group and you see these markers or whatever, I've added a link there to the correct markers, because you need to be careful. I noticed that there's another listing for the, it says Huhuhero, but when you look at it on the actual pack, the little black pack that they come in, it says Ohuhu on it, but they don't look like the current Ohuhus that are out and about. They look like the Touch 5s, and those are like 37 something, but $39.99 is what the price is on the Huhuheros that looks just like those Cali Arts. So, if you're over there and you start to go to Amazon and look those up, make sure you're looking at the right one. Just look at the little pouch, and if it says Ohuhu instead of Huhuhero, it's the wrong one. Look for the listing that says Huhuhero. Huhu. I thought Ohuhu was enough. Huhu. So I don't know. I have not had any experience with those markers. But I was like, wow, look at that. Oh, goodness. See, guys, I get enabled by you also. So I know everyone's always kind of like, you enabled me. Well, guess what? I got enabled last night. I haven't purchased them yet. Thank goodness, I still have to get the DOS Kids and try those. I should have probably went in with orange on this. I may still kind of go over this with a yellow to try to give it this orangey tinge that's here, but I don't know if it's going to do it once these have dried. But I mean, this is the pen that I did the base on the flowers with. So, we'll see. But I'll leave a link in the description of this video just below. I'll leave a link to those Huhuhero markers in case anybody wanted to jump over there and look at those, so they'll know which ones that I'm referring to when I said they look just like the Cali Arts, and the same ones that a member had said was definitely, and posted pictures beside her Cali Arts. And, you know, of course, we don't know if they have the same amount of ink and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I got a sneaky suspicion they were probably made in the same factory in China somewhere originally. Don't know. But she said the colors were even the exact same. I don't know if she meant based off of marker names or whatever, or if she actually meant in swatches also. So, because I know sometimes the ink, you know, the markers have the same name, but the ink is totally different. So we'll have to see. Gonna try it eventually, that's for sure. I mean, we all know if there's a marker on the market, Donna wants to touch it, feel it, love it, pet it, take it home and feed it if I could. You know, it's just, I have no idea why I have such an infatuation with markers. Oh yeah, that's gonna orange, still kind of make it have that little cute little orange tinge. Cute. It's cute. So when I put that pink down, I was like, whoa, that's kind of bright. It's the same pink, but it sure sticks out. And it's not that I don't like that color of pink, it just kind of didn't match anything after I had, you know, blended it in the flowers with the yellow. So I'll just gently kind of add some of this a little on top of that pink. Guys, I realized last night I had, you know, a picture. I still haven't worked anymore on the picture for John for Winter Wonderlands. And, I mean, I just wasn't quite feeling it last night. And I had started another page in Fairy Miracles, and I felt like I got kind of down because even though I felt like I did what made sense as far as my color choice, I didn't like it once it hit the paper, and I was like, you know, I mean, that's Fairy Miracles. So I just sat it down, and I decided, well, you know what, I can just do a mandala, and I started that. And then I sat there for a minute and realized, oh my gosh, I have 4 whips. 4! I have this one here, and then I had the one for John, and the Fairy Miracles, and that mandala that I started last night and did not finish. And I mean, I can't do all these whips. I just, my personality will not allow it. I mean, really, I just felt very overwhelmed when I realized that I had all those whips that needed something done to them. So, I'm going to have to work on that some today, and I've got to get those just done and cleared up and, you know, just over. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay. I'm just making sure that my hand's not going to smear this when I put my hand down. It dries very quickly on this paper, so I didn't anticipate having an issue, but I wanted to be sure. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I have some more pencil cases for my pencils. I'm so excited. My Happy Mail Fairy has sent me some cases, and I love her so much. She has spoiled me. So I'm getting my pencils that have been in the cases that have, you know, the big strips where you can put like 3 pencils in one. I'm getting all my pencils out of those and into cases that has just the single slot for each pencil. I think that'll protect the pencils better. And then I've been moving, like, one of those big cases, I was actually able to even move my super tips into. So I did that, and my Arteza, Staedtler, and Stabilo fine liners into one of those big ones also. And I've got my water pencils that I need to work on today. I've got the Hero water pencil, color pencil or whatever. I'm looking at maybe trying to test out another brand of watercolor pencil and see what I think about those. I'm not sure which brand quite yet, but you know, I kind of want to see, because I've got the one and I'm not sure I'm 100% loving what I get out of them, and I can't just throw down the gauntlet and say I don't like watercolor pencils because I haven't tried more, you know, than one set, so, or one brand. So I kind of want to do that. So I'm going to work on making sure all my pencils are nice and safe and secure and organized and all that stuff. Probably this afternoon. That turned out gorgeous. I almost kind of wish at this point I would have done the other flower, all the flowers that way. They're so pretty. Oh, sorry, I had to stretch. Like I said, it's still early in the morning, and I'm still having my first cup of coffee. I cannot even believe I am having this conversation with you guys or anything, because normally I am the grumpiest person you can meet first thing in the morning. When Gary comes home from work, you know, after working a shift or whatever, he's learned that it's probably best to not even speak to me too much. You know, say hi, hello, and then kind of move on, because I just don't do well with mornings. And it could be that caffeine addiction, and until I get the caffeine, you know, good in my system, I have issues. I don't know, but I'm not happy, that's for sure. I really like the way the brown looks with the yellow. Okay. So, are you a morning person? do you do better in the mornings or in the evenings? I don't do real good at late at night either. I've tried to record a couple times late at night, and my thoughts get all kind of jumbled up, so I kind of like recording just in the middle of the day. That seems to be when I'm thinking on my feet and, you know, all of that. So, I don't know. But I'm not much of a morning person. Okay. So, do you guys like when we start a page and I come back in another video to maybe complete the page? Or do you guys like it when I just go ahead and finish that page, you know, like off camera, and then just kind of move on to something else? Or do you kind of like when I just make a huge long video of one coloring? I'm kind of just trying to figure out how I want my filming to go, like moving forward. And, you know, I thought I would, you know, really like to have input from you guys, because ultimately, I mean, yeah, I enjoy coloring, but I can color, you know, on my own. And when I turn on the camera, I'm doing this really for both of us, because it really helps me kind of process my thoughts, and I get to talk to you guys. So it's kind of like, for me, this is almost like having a diary, you know, so it's kind of like a vlog, a diary or something. And it's very therapeutic. And, you know, of course, I'm filming to share my love of coloring with you guys. So, but at the end of the day, when it comes to my videos, I want to be doing things that you guys enjoy. So, I thought I would toss that out there and see if I could get some feedback on what you guys enjoy most. And I mean, if you guys have any suggestions for videos that you might like to see, I am all ears for that also. Switching back and forth. You know, I wish I could just do all the pink and then come back with the yellow, but the ink dries so quickly on this paper. I don't know what it is that's in this type of paper. And I don't mind working, you know, like with the Amazon type paper, I don't mind it at all, because I really do like to color in my books. But even with as much as I like to color in my books, I just kind of wish I knew why some paper just reacts, you know, so, why it's so different. And I loved the video that Anne did over to Colorful Life about putting alcohol onto the page. I want to try that. I do think that the 90+% alcohol, if it's going to work, you know, if that's going to work, I think that would be the ticket, because, you know, alcohol is watered down. So the 90% are going to get you closest to pure alcohol. And I do have some 90. I don't think I have 99. I don't know that I was aware that they made 99. I think mine might be like 93 or 95 or maybe even 97, but it's something like that. It's not 99. But I want to try that and see what happens, because I'm kind of curious if it would make this paper not quite as absorbent as it is. That would be my curiosity in it. So I might spend some time testing that out for myself and seeing if I can figure that out, because I think it's an amazing hypothesis, and I want to explore that some more. I missed a leaf in this stuff. I just saw it right there and right there. I missed two. Okay. Leave that out. I'm trying to make sure I'm putting these back as I'm pulling them out, because the mess it can make, you know. Okay. I want to be able to keep all of my, all the swatches I did. I want to make sure I don't lose the benefit of those. I have a big, like a storage container that has just miscellaneous gel pens in it. So a lot of times if I'm coloring like off camera, I just use that big box and I'll just kind of pick colors, whatever. But I do kind of like keeping these in a set. And this is that sparkle pop again. I'm going to do some of this, I think, in the golds. Just like the edges. Pretty, pretty. Okay. I think I'll do this one gold too, because that looks like a solid piece of something. These look more like chains, but this looks like it would be more solid. There. Okay. Sorry, I'm having to stretch again. Oh, it's so hard for me to wake up in the mornings. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am so thankful every morning that I wake up, but oh my goodness. It is just so hard to get started. Okay. I don't know how this is going to look. We're trying it. Don't have a clue. What do you think about that? You guys hear the big truck? It's the trash truck. They run on Friday mornings. Generally, they run a little earlier than this. So, most Fridays, if your trash isn't out by the time you go to bed on Thursday night, you're probably going to miss it. I keep an alarm set on my phone that goes off on Thursdays, and I probably need to change the time on it. I have it set to go off at 10 a.m. on Thursday, and I need to switch it so it's going off a little later in the day. But it just goes off, and when it goes off, across my screen it says trash. That's all it says. But that is my little reminder to make sure I get those trash cans out. You would never think that 3 people, because you know it's myself and my husband and my mother-in-law, you would never imagine truly that 3 people could create so much trash in a week. It's insane. Bradley's going back inside. I've got my back door open, and I heard Bradley go out the doggy door from the other room. He went out to take his little morning stroll. I'm not convinced he had been out yet this morning. So, he's out taking his little stroll around the backyard. I like the way that looks. It's very pretty. think I found a new combo that I like. This brown and yellow mixed together. I don't know. I'm sure I've done that before. I'm sitting here thinking, I can't believe I haven't thought of that, but sure I have. Yeah, what do you think? I think that's very pretty. Move over and work on the other one. Sip of my coffee. You guys want me to have my coffee, trust me. I can't believe we're almost at an hour again. I have no idea with this drying so fast if I'm even going to be able to create a blend like this. It doesn't look like it. Crud nuggets. And I know a lot of people will come in with their lightest color first to get that blend going. But I'm telling you, I've tried it. On this paper, it truly, generally works better. Just using your first color down first. It all kind of works out about the same. It's not bad though. There. I had to saturate that paper pretty good though to get anything. I've got a little bit of like buckling here in the paper. It's okay. Oh, it's a loud bird this morning. Making sure everybody knows he's here. Letting all his little friends know it's time to wake up. I love listening to birds. What do you think of that? Now we've got all these little teeny tiny leaves. Oh goodness. And I'm really thinking about leaving these spokes. I'm thinking about leaving them white because you know how you have the white on the inside of a tire? I wish these apples popped out more than they do. But against the brown fence, I mean, I could have probably done the fence white since I'm planning on doing a background. And I don't know that we're going to have time to get this background done on camera. I really wanted to, but I don't know that we're going to have time to. I really do like to try to keep my videos at about an hour. As you guys know, I will record longer. That is not a problem. But I think viewing-wise, I think it's probably, some of you guys I know will sit and watch entire 2-3 hour videos. But that's a little much for some people. And so, I mean, I don't know. In a perfect world, I would love to be able to sit down and do an entire coloring in a 1 hour video. That's impossible, truly, without a speed color. And if I can figure out how to do, you know, like a speed type thing, it would be nice for some things. But for most things, I don't want to do, you know, the speed ups or whatever. The bird's got another bird answering him now. I doubt you guys can hear the one that's answering back, but he sounds just like this one. It's like they're copycatting each other. Now I'm wondering if I should get up and close the door. I like sitting out back on the patio and coloring when the weather's nice. I really like listening to nature. And I mean, we really don't live far enough out. I mean, we don't live like in the middle of a city right now, you know, where we're at, but you know, it's not rural, mountainous type, whatever either. But I like listening to nature. And you know, here I have some sound pollution and stuff, but it's just really nice just to sit and hear the wind rustling through the trees and the birds chirping and, you know, squirrels playing, and it's really nice. I like it. I enjoy doing that a lot. I'm so excited that this is no longer going to be a whip. I need to send this picture to Anne, you know, because she asked everybody to kind of send their Jade summer pictures over for her, and I have not sent one yet. Maybe this could be my submission. We're going back and forth. Are you getting dizzy watching that? Because I'm almost getting dizzy watching it. Sitting here, just switching back and forth, back and forth. Here, I'm just going to do some of these and hope for the best. We don't have to do all of them, you know, and come back, but at least a couple. Okay. So the weekend is upon us. What are your plans? What are you doing this weekend? Gary works tomorrow, so my Saturday will be right here, and I will probably try to film something for us. I'm not sure quite yet what. I've been having a little bit of, I don't know, you've heard of like a coloring slump or an art slump or whatever. It's kind of like I'm having a film slump. I can't figure out what it is I want to record. I don't know. It seems like once I get on camera, I'll have things that I'm like, oh, I can tell them about this or I can tell them about that. And then I kind of get on camera and my mind just kind of forgets everything that I thought would be really cool, you know, to tell you guys or to talk about. I'm telling you, I am going to get the Game of Things. It's kind of expensive on Amazon right now, but I am going to get it. And, you know, it's really cool because it's like things that you never say or whatever, and you name them off, and, you know, it's used as like a party game, but it might actually be cool as a conversation thing for color in chats. So we can, you know, do that. I don't know. It's just thoughts that I have sometimes, wanting to find a little unique quirkiness for the channel, and I think about that kind of stuff sometimes. And I mean, you guys have no idea. I mean, it probably drives Gary crazy some, but you know, you guys have become like my family, part of my family to me, and I think about you guys. I think about you guys and how you're doing, and you know, what you might enjoy. And I mean, I think about that a lot, and therefore I talk about it a lot. Oh, and the other day, I've been meaning to say this, and I kept forgetting, and I'll say it today. And I will probably get the YouTube channel wrong, its name wrong, but I will link it so you guys know. Because I know some of you guys might be interested in this, but the day I had my accident, I had went to Tuesday morning. I'm hoping to get some more of those Huhuhero Markers as backups, and there was a sweet lady in there, and she took the last pack. Shame, shame, shame. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But we started talking, and I don't know, maybe it's just a sense that you get when you know, have YouTube channels and things like that. Maybe that's what it is, and you just kind of pick up on it. But she looks at me in our conversation, and she goes, do you have a YouTube channel? And I was like, yeah, I do. And she's like, oh, me too. And we start talking. But hers is Keepsake Memories or something to that effect. Keepsake Memories, Memory Keepsakes. It's something like that. But she does like, I guess, like crafting with scrapbooking and all this. And she does like hauls and neat little things. And she has some giveaways and things like that that she takes part in, or that she does with her channel. And I'm going to leave her link in the description of this video. And what I would really like for you guys to do, because, you know, I told her that day that I was going to give her a shout out, and honestly, I haven't. I've forgotten. And when I have filmed and I maybe thought about it, I couldn't remember her site name, and I can't remember it now either. But that's why I'm telling you, I am definitely going to link it. Memory Lane Keepsakes, maybe? Keepsakes Lane? I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be linked in the description of this video. I just have to remember to link it. But what I would love for you guys to do is just pop over there to her channel and find a video that might sound interesting to you. You know, if you do crafting at all, just find a video that seems a little interesting, hit play, scroll down to the comments, and just say, Donna says hi, just so she knows that she got her shout out and that I was thinking of her. I would really appreciate that. You know, just a little hi hello from you guys. Let her know where you came from. And that would be awesome. But she seemed like a pretty nice, pretty nice person. And I enjoyed talking to her that day. I was in a lot of pain. I had that headache that wouldn't go away and just felt dizzy. But I enjoyed the conversation. And it was just really neat how somehow she just picked up on the fact that I probably had a channel also. So yeah, check her out. I mean, of course, don't stay too long. I want you to come back to me, but no, seriously, enjoy yourself over there. I don't do scrapbooking and card making or journaling or, at least not right now. I don't do any of those things. I adult color. That's my hobby. And I really haven't branched out more than that. I will paint some. Like if I have ceramics and things like that, I will paint them. I like taking different little like yard type ornaments and just putting fresh coats of paint on them to make them nice and pretty. I do that a lot. Well, I'm not going to say a lot, but I do that. I used to do it a lot more than I do now. But that's kind of what I do when I, craft or whatever. I don't do the card making and all that. But I know a lot of you do, and you enjoy it. So check her out and see if there's anything going on over on her channel that might interest you with your other crafts that you do. I don't even really understand a lot of what she was talking about that day when we talked. And that's simply because I don't know the lingo for those different types of crafts. But memory lane keepsakes. That's what seems to pop in my mind. But I guarantee you, when I go to link her, that is going to be so far off. And I'm going to feel silly and be like, why couldn't I remember that? Oh, these little leaves are almost done. Okay, look at that. Let's give you a good look at it. I always zoom in instead of out. That's drives me crazy. Okay, that's where we are right now. And it looks like all we really need to do now is add a background. And this page will be history. Okay. I took just a short break. Let's see. I wanted to do that blue background. I am so iffy on whether or not I want to do this background on camera. I'm having a lot of shadow. At least to me, it looks like there's a lot of shadow issues going on right now. And this is a pretty dark blue. I think it's a beautiful blue. It is called Denim by Spectrum Neor. I love, oh man, I love, love, love there. At least these basic markers, I love the colors in the Spectrum Noirs. And I'm kind of curious if this is what's in that coloring system that they have. You know, their newer markers. I'm curious if it's the same colors. Because these have like denim, and it actually has camo green, and you know, they got really neat names like that. Linen, sand, bamboo, just really different kinds of names that I'd never really heard in markers. And I like that. I'm kind of curious. So if any of you have Spectrum Noir markers that aren't these basics, let me know if that's kind of the way the colors are with your markers. I had a panic moment. I thought I didn't have my sheet behind my paper. So you saw me jerk real fast. I had a bit of a panic moment. And I have to move things around, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to... I really don't like doing large backgrounds at all. And I really don't like doing them on camera. I have no idea why it makes me nervous, but it's one of those things I feel like I really need to concentrate when I do. So, and someone had asked me about using my markers and how I do without getting that massive bleed over the lines. So, and I'm not always good at this, okay? I am not. But let me zoom in. See if I can do it without it getting too blurry. Okay. Okay. Now, see, it did bleed a little bit, but when I'm coloring larger areas, I do kind of keep my tip down. But when I'm doing really tiny areas, you see the way I'm flicking like this? I just kind of flick the ink in and barely, I mean barely, touch the paper and just let that ink go on. Also, I don't go right next to a line, because if you actually go and touch that line, that's when you're going to get that bleed over. Because if it's going to bleed, what I do is I don't go directly against the line. I go kind of beside it and just flick the ink and let the ink do its spread. And most of the time that will take it to the line. And if it doesn't, now if I'm doing areas like this, I will keep my pen down, okay? I'll kind of keep my pen down and let the spread work for me. All right, but when I start getting into the tight areas, you'll see me start picking up and flicking, picking up and flicking. And that's because I don't want the ink to saturate really deep down into the paper, because the more ink that gets on that paper, the more the ink is going to spread. Okay? That's how it is with anything. Spill water on a napkin and watch what happens. It spreads out throughout the napkin. Same thing when you're putting ink onto paper. If you let it saturate, I mean, if you were just to put this marker straight down and hold it there, you would watch the ink start to spread out into the paper. And that's what happens when you're adding the ink. So when you do this flicking in these smaller areas, you're constantly lifting that marker up, and you're not putting a lot of pressure down on the paper. You're just barely touching that paper. And that allows minimal amount of ink down. And when you're not going directly next to the line, the spread is taking it to the line. And the thing is, if it doesn't go all the way to the line, you can always come back. You know, you can always come back and put a few extra flicks in to bring it right up next to that line. But you can't take ink away. So less is kind of better when it comes to that, because you can add, but you can't take away. And that's how I do the little tight areas with my markers. And that's how I get next to a line. Some markers just naturally bleed more than others. That's what I found. Extremely juicy markers are going to bleed a lot more. My Color It markers, oh my goodness, they bleed so bad for me. And with those markers, I have to be super careful about not getting too close to lines. And so I don't color with those a lot, because even for me, that's kind of like, ugh, it's nerve-wracking sometimes. But you see, I went in and I started flicking. As soon as I start getting close, it becomes a flicking motion and not keeping the pen directly down, or the marker directly down on the paper. Just adding little bits of ink. So you kind of just have to work with your whatever marker brand you have and figure out, you know, how much ink is coming out into your paper. And once you have worked with a particular marker for just a little bit, you start to get a good feel for how that ink is flowing. And once you've got that feel for the way the ink's flowing out of that marker, then you'll be able to figure out how close you can get to a line, because of how much, you know, approximately how much spread you're going to have. And you'll figure out the amount of pressure. And generally, if you've got a juicy marker, you're not putting much pressure down at all. For me to be as heavy-handed as I am, I keep it short. But for me to be as heavy-handed as I am still super careful. I'm gentle with my markers. I truly am. And I don't understand why that doesn't just naturally move over to when I use pencils, but for whatever reason it doesn't. My hand gets super heavy with a pencil. But you know, when I go into open areas, then yeah, I will leave my marker down and stop flicking, because at that point I'm wanting to get as much ink down so I don't get the lines, because if you allow its time to dry before you get that next bit of ink down, that's when you end up with those marker lines when the ink's dry and you can see the line. So when I'm doing the larger areas, I'm keeping that marker down and I'm moving quick and getting that ink to flow into the paper. But then when I start getting into these little tight nooks, it becomes a flick and lift around the area. So I really hope this answered that question. I had told you that I would, the next time I was in a coloring chat and I was in a situation like this with my markers, that I would explain that. And so I really, really hope that this has helped you, and, you know, zooming in like this so you could actually see what's going on. I hope this answers your question. Please let me know if this helped you. And, you know, if you have any more questions about it, if there's something you didn't quite understand, I would be happy to, you know, do this again on another picture. Because when you're working with the markers, you want to be quick, but you don't want to get so quick that it gets sloppy. Because it's possible to start just trying to, you know, when you're trying to throw down that ink and go in too fast, that you cause, you know, more bleeding than would be necessary. You know, open area, I'm down. I'm getting that ink in the paper. But then when I start getting close, that's when it becomes flick, flick, flick. And with practice, you'll be able to go, you know, faster and faster and faster. See? Go in here and get these little ones. And you see how I went in sections? These little vines are providing me lines. And I'm able to stay within that line. And it kind of keeps it from bleeding over here. That way, it's okay that this is drying now. When I go back, I had that line there. That was my guideline. And so I kind of went by it. And it helps minimize the lines. And that's how I work my lines. See, here, this flower, or this leaf, is coming almost next to the line here from the top of the basket. So I can go in this area and do the same thing I did here, and then that area will be complete, and I won't have to worry about a line there either. And then it gets a little more complicated because all of this is open. All of this is open. All of this is open. I can probably do this area and let this here serve as a line, and there may be a little bit of an ink dry here, but it won't be as visible because it's here in this section. So I could do all of this as one section and let it dry, but all this is pretty open. So once I get to, you know, this part right here, this is going to be the serious concentration part of everything. Let me zoom out because I guess you guys missed a lot of that. But see how this becomes very open. There really isn't any guidelines to go by. So this section and this section, but then it's pretty much that's when it gets serious. And that's when I'll get nervous. Like that line right there can be a guideline. See? Now that section's done. And, I mean, there will probably be like a little line right here, but it's not going to be visible, really, you know. And then I'll do this section. And then all of this will just be a nerve-wracking good time. Now I can get into here pretty easy. You guys aren't in frame now, are you? I can get into there pretty easy, and even here I can let a line, and there'll be a little bit of a line, but not too bad, enough to, you know, it won't be enough that your eye will really catch it. Little area right here. And I mean, this is just kind of how I'll kind of use that leaf too as a little guide. But I just kind of, when I go into areas where it's a larger area, I just start looking for natural things in the image that can be barriers and serve as almost like line work, so I can use them to my advantage. And that's how I plan when I do backgrounds. I don't just start, or any large area, I just don't start in one. I always sit and look at it and figure out where I'm going to lay that ink. What can serve as little barriers for me. Like, I could start right here and start coloring, but like if I were to start right here and just do this, when I got to right here, then it's like, okay, I still need to do all of this, and I still need to do all of this. Which way do I go? The ink's going to dry. And then you're jumping back and forth between two areas. So with this, you know, you can start down here and then work your way around. And I kind of plan it that way too. And, you know, even this is a pretty large area, and I may end up with some drying. We'll see. And even for me, sometimes those lines, they're not avoidable. I've worked with some papers. I think it was the Heather Valentin papers I was working with back at Christmas time. Oh my goodness. And the Edwina McNamee books. Oh my goodness. I couldn't put the ink down fast enough to avoid the lines. I could not seem to do it. And that's when you just have to kind of accept it. You know, it is what it is. But you never want to like get to here and stop and go color something else, because you will have such a line right here when this ink dries. And I wish I was better and more comfortable with my chisel, because when you use, and when I say chisel, I had someone ask, what does that mean? It's the broad end of the marker. When I was a kid, Sharpie, I believe, their highlighters, their permanent markers, those big fat permanent markers they all had the broad end like our markers have, and they called it a chisel. So it's stuck. You know, to me, it's just the chisel end of a marker. This end. And I'm going to try to use it, because this is getting... And it is a lot broader, but it does lay down ink faster. So... And I'm really just learning how to try to utilize my broad end or my chisel end. But you can lay down a lot more ink faster when you use this. But that's what I'm referring to when I say a chisel. Because that's, I believe it was Sharpie that referred to it as a chisel. For those of you who remember, please comment and tell me, am I correct that it was Sharpie that just automatically called it a chisel end, or a chisel marker, or a chisel highlighter, or, you know, something like that. I'm going to have a line right here. And guys, it's a whole new level of difficulty when you're trying to go around tight things with a daggone broad end of the marker. So I can't help you with that. That's like super duper difficult. I mean, I still kind of flick, but oh, maybe I'm not going to have the line I was so much worried about after all. Maybe I can switch back over to the other end real fast and finish this up. I'm much more comfortable with the other end. See how much less ink. You're not getting as much ink. I got to keep that line wet while I go back and forth between these. Because that line drying is what causes those lines. There. Whew. Oh goodness, that's where we're at. See, I think that's a very pretty blue, you know, for a background. I didn't dot these on the inside. Look at that. Oh, I am so sorry for that. Oh, goodness. Donna, stop. Donna, stop. Donna, stop. Oh, how I don't want to do the rest of this. I can go in, I guess, and do the little parts inside of the baskets. Now, when you do these little tiny ones, you've just got to just barely touch the paper and don't hold the marker directly down, you know, and leave it there. Okay. There. Now I'm pretty sure I'm out of guidelines. Yep, pretty sure I ran out of guidelines. Well, no. No, because I can use this area right here as a bit of a guideline. So how many of you like to do puzzles? Put together puzzles. Did you know, I just saw these and I was like, oh my goodness. They make puzzles now that you color. Yeah. Yep. And I think the only way to really color them would be to put the puzzle together first. So you'd basically be putting together a black and white puzzle with line art and then coloring it. My mother loves to do puzzles. Absolutely loves it. And so I asked her if she would do a puzzle for me and let me color it. And when I explained it to her, she was like, yeah, no. She's like, don't you dare bring me a black and white puzzle But I thought that would be a cute little mother-daughter thing if she were to put it together and then I were to color it, and then we could, like, you know, keep it. But she didn't seem too up to that. So if you guys like to do puzzles, do you think you could put a black and white together like that so you could color it? Okay. Lid, go on. Oh my goodness. My coffee mug is empty and I am still so tired. We're probably going to end up with lines because I can't fathom doing all of this without. I'm just going to accept that we're going to have a couple lines. I'm going to let in between here, there's going to be a line there because I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this as kind of a guide. It shouldn't be too bad right there. Super doodles were wanting to fall. My super doodles were wanting to fall over. Super doodles. When you guys see me try to use this broad nib or the chisel nib or whatever, you are seeing me learning because I am so new to it. I would love to master it, that is for sure. Being able to turn that chisel and, oh. I'm going to have to turn the paper too. I am so sorry, guys, but it's a funny angle to color, you know, with a camera right in front like this. And it's kind of a funny angle for me anyway. And I turn my page a lot when I color just on my own. And I try not to turn the page too much when I color with you guys. See, now I'm in a situation where I'm just having to kind of jump back and forth between all these lines and just try to keep them as dry as I can. Not dry, as wet as I can. You know how you get super nervous before you take a test or something, and it's like in your gut, it's just uneasy and you're just nervous. And yeah, that's how it is for me to do things like this on camera. Haha! Oh, what an accomplishment. I mean, I'm sorry. That's what it feels like. It's kind of like winning. It's kind of the feel you get. Oh my goodness. But I really don't see anywhere else on here that I could use that technique. Oh, let me go make me some more coffee. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I've got my coffee. I've got a new coffee creamer. It's the Coffee Mate Snickers, and I'm not sure about it. It's not very snickery. At least it's not very chocolate. My absolute favorite is Salted Caramel Mocha by International Coffees, and that is my super duper duper number one. But they did not have any. They had the Snickers, and I was thinking caramel chocolate. I think I may actually taste the peanut in this, to be honest. I absolutely love my mug, my cup, though. I'll show it to you guys. See this? It's the Pioneer Woman. It was the 3 set that they had like for Black Friday. And at my store, they did not sell them all. And they immediately, before Christmas, marked them down to $7 for 3. Which was amazing. So I grabbed me a 3-pack of those. It keeps my coffee hot all day. Well, as long as it lasts, okay? So my coffee doesn't last all day. What am I talking about? Okay, the bottom line here is there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to have to dive in, get this done. I seriously considered saying, nope, not doing this on camera. Move along. But I'm going to do it. And now I am committed. But it just... And you guys are just going to have to excuse lines on this, because there's just no way, I don't think, that I can do this much of a background and not have either some bleed over or some lines or something. I mean, this is just a really big area. And this is where like soft pastels come in handy too, because you don't waste your ink and you can put the soft pastels. But I'm having some issues trying to figure out how to put on the soft pastels to make them look right. First world problems, right? Now the cool thing is, if I can keep that line down at the bottom a little wet, once I close this in, this section will be done. I'm just going to kind of keep these lines wet while I do it. I'm trying to do it with a chisel, so. I mean, I need more practice with the chisel, and might as well do it with you guys. I mean, because I want you guys, I don't want to like feel like I really know how to do something before I do it, you know, in front of you guys. Because I want you to see that you just have to really practice and work with things. And I know I'm one to talk when I say I'm terrified of bringing my pencils out in front of people, but I still am. One of these days, when I figure out how to do the live streams really well, if I can get some of you pencil girls and guys in a live stream with me, you guys are going to teach me to use my pencils. How would you like that? I think that would be awesome for you guys to tell me exactly what it is that I need to be doing, that I'm not doing right, to make my pencils do what I want them to do. I think it would be really cool. I love Neece. She's so, you know, because she's heavy-handed too. Well, she says she's heavy-handed. I've watched. She doesn't seem to have quite the death grip that I have on things. But I really wish Neece lived close, because I would love to sit down with Neece and have her work with me with my pencils. And I would like to have Anne close, because I would love Anne to help me with my pencils, as well as with chisel and all of this. Because Anne makes it look so easy. And see how bad this is looking? This is what I don't like about the chisel. I get in areas like this, in the bigger areas, and the chisel just kind of bleh. I can feel the panic literally building up inside of me. I have no idea. If I'm going to get a line, it's going to be right here. I let that go too long. Darn it. There's definitely going to be a line there. Oh, I went right over that stinking thing. My goodness. So much hard work. And now it's just going to be all messed up. I know it is. Oh my goodness. We've worked over 2 hours on this together. But, oh well. It happens, you know. I'm starting to go over lines too. I'm trying to turn the chisel in, it's not working. Anne says, turn the chisel, turn the chisel. I'm turning the chisel. At least I'm trying. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I should have just used the soft pastels. So much for submitting this, right? This was going to be my All About Jade Summer for Anne, but I don't know. See, Neece, if you're watching, it's not easy for us either. You know, she called Ann and me like the marker queen, or I don't know, something like that on one of her videos. And I thought to myself, oh, Neece, you have no idea. Oh, my goodness. It's not, it's just not super easy, no matter what. But, I mean, you just got to do what you got to do. See how bad that line is up there? Oh, my gosh. When your picture goes sideways. I mean, this is just the kind of stuff you have to practice and work on. You know, and I'm still trying to figure out these large areas. And I mean, there's like only so much you can do. Sometimes it feels like, especially when you're working on paper that dries ink so quickly. I need a drink and not coffee. Well, guys, we ended up with some lines here and a little here and definitely here. But other than that, there she goes. It is done. I am finished. What do you think? Goodness. All right. This was fun. I am going to end this right here. This is a 2-hour video. Oh my goodness. Yesterday's, the part 1 was just over an hour, but we got this done. She's done, she's done, she's done. If you are new to my channel, I want to welcome you, and please consider subscribing. We would love to have you here and to join us. And for everyone else, thank you for spending my morning with me. I enjoyed this color and chat, and I hope you did also. Keepsake memories or whatever, I can't remember, is in the link. It's in the description. Her link is in the description of the video. Hop over there, tell her Donna says hi, let her know where you came from, show her a little bit of love. And until next time, guys, peace, love, and happy coloring. Bye.